Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Nigerian politics is always an interesting one, and the fact that this politics is played on a level playing ground is also amazing. A lot of things have happened this past few days that has brought Malam Nasir into the media space. So much, him being invited to NBA and later his name removed, and so much boycotting and threat to boycott by the northern lawyers has made his name to become something to look out for on the internet. But this is not where we are headed. There's another one in charge, brewing up right now, as the Kaduna state government has filed criminal charges against Abiodun Ogunyemi, the Bishop of Zaria Diocese Anglican Communion, over defamatory remarks made against Nasir, the governor. This is getting really interesting. But before we go into the news proper and further analysis, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Okay, well, Ogunyemi was arraigned before a chief magistrate court in Kaduna on charges bordering on criminal defamation, injurious falsehood, and criminal intimidation. The bishop had, in a statement in November 2019, criticized the governor over the planned demolition of St. George Cathedral in Zaria. Sorry to digress. I was just wondering, just criticism is what is landing him into trouble? We've heard worse during Jonathan's time. We've heard worse than this during Jonathan's time. Nobody was called to court order. Nobody was not called a hate speech. It was simply exercising our human rights, our franchise, and our democratic rights as citizens of a nation. But right now, it's now a criminal offense to criticize the government of the day. But let's continue with the news. Now, Ogunyemi had said the governor was being groomed to take over from President Muhammad Buhari in 2023, but he will never be president. Now, should we call that defamatory? Let's continue still. The government has since receded on its plans to demolish the 110-year-old cathedral because of its historical value. After several interrogations from the police, Ogunyemi was arraigned with the approval of the Ministry of Justice. I think it's about the same thing that may likely happen to Malafia, where he made this. Severally now, Malafia have been shouting and telling anybody who cares to know that DSS have come again and they have come to arrest him in his home. I really pity him, really. This is really getting serious. Nigeria is in a democratic setting, but I don't know if it's truly democracy. You know, there's this general saying that freedom of speech is allowed, but freedom after speech is what we don't know in Nigeria. But let's continue. It said after several interrogations from the police, Ogunyemi was arraigned with the approval of the Ministry of Justice. He pleaded not guilty and was granted bail. A member of the Kaduna Synod and a canon of the Cathedral Church of St. Michael, Kaduna, stood in as surety. However, the Director of Public Prosecution, who led the state legal team, told the court that there was ongoing consultations which could lead to a peaceful resolution of the case. John Omogeye, counsel to Ogunyemi, conceded to the submission of the prosecution. The magistrate has adjourned the case to October 28, 2020 for continuation. I feel so bad, honestly, how we have degenerated in this country, where criticism is now seen as a hate speech, and what was said during the time of their predecessors. But, where it gets really amazing, or where it gets really troubling, is the fact that this is coming from it's coming from Christianity facing Islam, and it shouldn't be so, really, because if we continue like this, I'm afraid our peace as a nation is under siege. But let's quickly feel the pulse of Nigerians over this. Of course, Nigerians have taken to the social media to react over this matter, and a lot of Nigerians are not finding it very funny. This one here is saying, give your enemies nothing to negotiate, no hope, no room to maneuver. Do not humiliate, yet nurture these resentful vipers who will one day kill you. This is all the truer. with a former friend who has become an enemy. The law governing fatal antagonism reads, reconciliation is out of the question. You must exterminate, crush, and deny them the chance to return to haunt you. El-Rufai wants the whole world under his feet, forgetting that without the existence of the people to acknowledge or dispute your greatness is irrelevant. That bishop is making his emotions too plain. He would have said it subtly. The British can dish out the most subtle insult that will wound insult, and all your generation with the most subtle words mixed with compliment. What he's trying to say is, if you want to say anything, garnish it with something that looks okay, sarcasm with a touch of comic relief, and where you begin to make it look as if there's no idiot in it, but you just communicate something very very insulting, without necessarily using the words literally. But the truth is, right now a lot is happening. Look at what is happening in NBA already. It has degenerated to ethnic bigotry. It has not been divided into ethnic lines, even though the Nigerian Bar Association have written open letter and made their statement public, where they are saying that we still remain one formidable NBA, and it is not drawn out of ethnicity or religious sensitivity. It's just basically, we just feel that unanimously we agreed on this. Please don't take it on ethnic lines. But it has gone haywire. Yobe is threatening to boycott. Sharia has joined in. Kaduna MBA branch have also lent their voice. Brano, Jigawa, all of them have started, lending their voice. You now ask the question, why are we taking it this far? Okay, whatever reasons they had mentioned the reason why it shouldn't be. Now you're making it look as if, okay, all the North, this whole thing is all about the North. Okay, they have decided that Governor Zulum will replace El-Rufai. So what's the big deal? If we begin to show this line at the level of being learned, because it's assumed that MBA is a group of very learned people, very learned, exposed Nigerians who make up Nigerian Bar Association, and if at this level of your being exposed and learned, and you still show lines and signs of ethnicity and religious bigotry, then I'm afraid the whole of Nigeria is in trouble. Because these are a miniature, a mini fraction, a micro environment of the whole of Nigeria. So if this particular micro environment or micro community is showing bigotry, then will this whole unity of one Nigeria is a joke? Sorry to say this, but it's the truth. If we see things that happen on the lines of ethnicity, then or ethnicity or religious bigotry, then we're in trouble in this country. A typical example is what is taking place. It's open, everyone knows this, where Boko Haram people are being pardoned after the mayhem they have caused almost to every, especially in the north. I can't even remember when they openly apologized to Nigerians, but they said they have repented, we forgave them. When there's lockdown, they brought them into a lovely environment, fed them, clothed them, reabsorbed them into the society, and some of them have joined the military. And even went further to say they can be voted and they can vote and be voted for, that any of them can decide to go in for presidency and they will be absorbed. Really? And now, fast forward, Evans. How many of I can still remember? I don't know if you can still remember who Evans is. The Evans that is notorious for being a serial kidnapper who has been kidnapping a lot of persons in the southwestern region, particularly in Lagos. He was caught, he was nabbed, he was taken to court, he pleaded not guilty and all that. But right now, as we speak, Evans, who has been known to be a notorious kidnapper, is actually at the verge of death sentence. He has been declared guilty and he may be going for, I think, death by hanging. Thereabout, but his case is now is a done deal. Evans is one person. Boko Haram have done worse. They've been pardoned, no crime, nothing, as in discharged and acquitted, free to become mere citizens. IDP camps are increasing every day. Nothing is being done. Now, this is the level where we have found ourselves in, and we need to address this. We need to address this. Now, this is what is happening now. Now, look at what is happening in Kaduna, where a bishop just spoke his mind, literally, and it's called defamatory speech, simply because he said that even if Governor El-Rufai is to go for 2023 presidency, he will not be allowed. And don't forget, even Governor El-Rufai has said he has no intention Yeah, he said he has no intention of running for presidency, so you can actually excuse him on that. But what I'm actually heading from, or where I'm heading to, or where I'm coming from, is the fact that by this time, like 2 tenors ago, I'm talking about Jonathan's time, these statements were never seen as issues. They were part and tenets of democracy. It was not an issue, something that you're free to express your opinion. It's your opinion, that's why it's called the opinion. Okay? But now, in this dispensation, that's not allowed. It's called hate speech. It's called hate speech, and it's punishable by law. And this is becoming very wonderful. Now, some parts of the country make such defamatory statements. Everybody looks the other way. You know, some people are more equal than the others. Like a typical example is Bodejo. Bodejo has been making that's the Fulani guy. He has been making some very terrible statements. Nobody has called him to order. But any other person makes such statement, no, that person is saying hate speech. Let's apply the same law everywhere. Nigerians have no problem. In as much as this law that's been enacted is applied everywhere, we're good. We like it. But do not make it for some persons and the other persons, they're above it. It makes the whole system, makes it unlivable. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation. What's your take on this? Let's interact. Stay tuned for more of this.